billion of customer money vanished from the world's third biggest crypto exchange. The man holding it was a 30-year-old in cargo shorts named Sam Bankman-Fried. And here's the part that should scare you. He didn't steal it in some dramatic heist. The money was just never where everyone thought it was. 10 days. That's how long it took FTX to go from a $32 billion company to bankrupt. How does an exchange that's supposed to just hold your coins end up gambling them on the side? How does a single line of code quietly funnel customer deposits into a hedge fund? And how does a company worth $32 billion turn out to have a hole in it the size of a small country's budget? Stick around, because the answer isn't greed. It's something a lot more boring and a lot more dangerous. Let's kill the obvious explanations first. FTX wasn't hacked. Nobody broke in. The market didn't crash and wipe them out either. Bitcoin was actually pretty calm that week. And it wasn't one bad trade. The thing that killed FTX was structural, baked into how the company was wired from almost day one. To understand it, you have to understand the one promise every exchange makes, and the one FTX quietly broke. Sam Bankman-Fried was supposed to be the adult in the room. MIT physics degree. A few years at Jane Street, one of the most respected trading firms on Wall Street. In 2017, he started a crypto trading shop called Alameda Research, and he made a fortune on a simple trick. Bitcoin was more expensive in Japan than in the US, so he bought it cheap in one place and sold it dear in the other. Pure arbitrage. Then, in 2019, he and an engineer named Gary Wang built their own exchange, FTX. And it exploded. Celebrity ads with Tom Brady. A Super Bowl spot with Larry David. The Miami Heat's arena renamed FTX Arena. Investors threw in nearly $2 billion without even getting a seat on the board. By 2021, FTX was valued at $32 billion, and Sam was on magazine covers as the JP Morgan of crypto, the guy who'd bail everyone else out. Here's the thing about a crypto exchange. Its job is simple, and it's the same job a bank courtroom has. You hand it your coins, it holds them, it gives them back when you ask. That's it. The money is yours. The exchange is just the building it sits in. And to make money trading on FTX, there was also Alameda, Sam's hedge fund, placing bets like any other customer. On paper, two separate companies. FTX holds everyone's money. Alameda gambles with its own. The wall between them was the entire point. Break that wall, and customer deposits stop being deposits and start being someone else's poker chips. So how do you break a wall like that? You don't smash it. You write an exception. Every account on FTX was watched by an automated risk engine. If your bets went bad and your collateral ran out, the system would instantly sell you off to protect everyone else's money. It was the safety mechanism that made the whole thing work. Except Gary Wang, the co-founder, later admitted in court that he added a quiet bit of code that exempted one account from that engine, Alameda's. Alameda could go negative. Deep negative. It was handed a line of credit that eventually reached $65 billion, drawn straight from the pool of customer deposits. And the risk engine that would have shut anyone else down simply looked the other way. The wall between your money and Sam's trades wasn't guarded by a vault. It was a flag in a database set to true. And what was Alameda using to back all that borrowing? Mostly a token called FTT, a coin FTX created out of thin air. Think about how circular that is. FTX invents a token. The token has a price because FTX says so. Alameda borrows billions against it, and the billions are real customer dollars. As long as nobody asked hard questions, the FTT price held, the collateral looked solid, and the music kept playing. The company's actual books were a disaster underneath it, expenses approved by emoji in a chat app, an auditor that literally bragged about being the first accounting firm to open an office in the metaverse. There was no CFO. There was no Real board. The whole tower stood on one assumption, that the FTT price would never fall and nobody would ever try to withdraw all at once. Both of those assumptions died in the same week. On November 2nd, 2022, a crypto news site published Alameda's balance sheet, and the world saw it. Billions of it was just FTT, the token FTX printed. 2 days later, the CEO of Binance, FTX's biggest rival, tweeted that he was dumping all the FTT his company held. The price cratered. And then everyone did the one thing the system couldn't survive. They tried to take their money out. $6 billion in withdrawal requests hit FTX in 72 hours. And the money wasn't there. It was sitting in Alameda's losing bets. Binance glanced at the books, floated a rescue, and walked away within a day. On November 11th, 2022, FTX filed for bankruptcy. Sam Bankman-Fried went from a net worth of $26 billion to functionally zero in under a week. Here's the part that crypto is a scam headline skipped. FTX didn't die because crypto is fake or because the market turned. It died because the one promise it sold, your funds are safe, your funds are separate, was never actually built. It was a label on a screen, not a wall in the code. The separation customers were counting on existed only as long as Sam chose to honor it, and one exception in a database meant he never really did. This is the same disease that killed Greensill and Archegos, just wearing a hoodie instead of a suit. Money that looked safe because the paperwork said so, collateralized by an asset that was really just a circular bet on itself. In November 2023, Sam Bankman-Fried was convicted on 7 counts of fraud and conspiracy. He was sentenced to 25 years in prison. So here's the takeaway, and it's bigger than crypto. When something tells you your money is safe or separate or backed, ask the only question that matters. What is actually enforcing that? Is it a vault, audited and real, or is it just a promise, one config flag away from being a lie? FTX customers thought they had a coat room. What they actually had was an honor system with a backdoor. The most dangerous failures aren't the ones that look risky. They're the ones that look perfectly safe, right up until somebody asks for their money back. FTX exposed what happens when customer money is hidden inside code. But Wirecard showed something even stranger, money that simply never existed. A German payments giant the whole market trusted, audited by one of the biggest firms in the world, missing nearly $2 billion. For a decade, nobody checked the one bank account that mattered. That's Wirecard, and it's next. The link is on screen now.